This was the very first time we filmed Global Child, and we visited Petra, the lost city. Enjoy the sneak preview. And be sure to follow us on Instagram at Global Child TV and watch the rest of the episodes on Amazon Prime. Everywhere I traveled, I'd learn a life lesson, and this was certainly not going to be the exception. After all, like many of us, I'm a person who is curious about faith. And I also wanted to know how a mostly deserted region could have become the cradle of three major religions, as well as a home to a lost city that is one of the 7 wonders of the world. I also really wanted to ride a camel, which was pretty cool. I was no expert on religion, and this is certainly not a show about politics, but since I did barely graduate high school, I knew that the word Islam means peace.
There you go, so everybody's welcome.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
That Jesus taught that love was the highest command, and that God's main attribute through the Torah or Old Testament was His mercy. So I wanted to understand what I was missing, because all this conflict that usually seems to be associated with this part of the world was a big mystery to me. Perhaps there was something for all of us to learn. So, from floating in the Dead Sea to climbing to the highest point of Petra, this adventure seemed to be a potentially life-altering trip. So of course, I decided to use the power of social media to discover the most interesting places to experience. I decided to begin the journey in Jordan, not just because of that awesome alliteration, but because they have some of the most epic ruins in the world. And from there, we would head across the border and explore Israel. I wanted to taste the culture, dance to a different beat, and allow myself to remove whatever preconceived notions I carried with me as I explored these wondrous places from a multitude of different perspectives. From the modern marketplace to the ancient ruins, generations have come and gone, and yet one highest human quality has at different moments permeated them all, regardless of religion, gender, nation, or race. Perhaps it was just a moment for some, and a lifestyle for others. Some might argue that it's really not a feeling at all, it's a choice, and that the time we need to show it most is when we feel like it the least. Because how we define the specific word in our lives will end up defining us, and that will impact everyone around us for generations to come. So, open your mind and hearts as we set off to experience Israel and Petra. As we explore this question, what does the word love actually mean? And what is the lesson hidden in how we define it? Let's find out, shall we? Welcome to Israel and Jordan, the lesson of love.
We're here riding to Petra right now. We can see the city entrance off in the distance. Was that a house or a
This obelisk tomb.
tomb? So now we're going into the cliff, into the canyons, and this actually used to help as a stronghold because people would be bottlenecked here so they could mount defenses.
In ancient times, Petra was estimated to have been home to over 30,000 people.
We're here in the middle of a spectacular canyon in the city of Petra. Inside, there's a beautiful citadel.
This ancient bad boy is called the Treasury, and it's one of over 800 monuments carved into the limestone. Petra is also known as the Lost City, because no Westerner had been there until 1812 when a Swiss explorer discovered it, went back to Cambridge to learn Arabic, and then convinced the Nabati that he was a Bedouin shepherd so he could enter the sacred city. He probably also rode a camel. They bite, by the way. Petra went unconquered for 1,000 years until the Romans poisoned their waters. Throw in a couple of devastating earthquakes, some plagues, add a bit of pillaging, a Muslim conquest followed by a Crusader takeover, and you'll be left with a lot of tombs.
Thank you. I don't think he likes me. You might recognize this beautiful door from movies like Indiana Jones or, sad to say, Transformers. But what it actually is, it's a sacred, secret tomb that was found, honestly, straight out of an Indiana Jones movie.
Few things we like more than going on an adventure.
So when you take a guided tour, they give you the option of trying to go up to the monastery. Apparently it's like a couple of kilometers straight up the mountain. I'm ready, I got my water. Let's see how hard it is. Alright, I lost my sunglasses, which I know I would, so I always recommend buying the cheap glasses. And now we start walking up the steps. So we're about a half a kilometer in. It's a workout, but I think all those hours on the Stairmaster have helped me prepare for a moment like this. The views are amazing. I have to focus because, I mean, it'd be a bad tumble.
And for the lazy, you can always take the donkey.
No Ferrari for us. We're about 3 kilometers in. It's getting tough, but it's all good. We can see the city of Petra. We're halfway up to the monastery, but everywhere you go, they have nice little resting places.
So you come out of the mountain to the top of the world, the best view in Petra. You go up some more steps, and this is what you see. One of the most spectacular views you've ever seen.
We're pretty much at the highest point of Petra, and that's incredible. That's one of the sacred temples. One of the most beautiful views I've seen in my life. So everything that goes up must come down, and now we start the descent.
I was falling in love with Jordan. I guess that means that it's much easier to love places and groups of people once we meet them. More reason to travel.
I got a crazy tan, so people will think I'm a local. Maybe I can start lacing out camels. Who knows? Anyways, it's been a beautiful day. Thank you for watching.
We all have places that help to frame all the other memories we have in our minds. When I think of what Petra must have been like, a cultural center teeming with life, the invincible jewel, the fortress protected by towering rocks, and now it's hauntingly beautiful ruins spanning before me. It just reminds me that we all leave this earth as we came. No matter what humans build, eventually it'll collapse. I guess this Petra trip helps me to realize that we shouldn't waste our lives on building monuments, much less to ourselves, because these too will crumble when we leave this earth. Our lives should be about people, the good that we do, the relationships we build, the adventures we have. Those will carry with us forever, everywhere we go.
Hi, I'm Augusto from Global Child, the new travel show. Every episode we teach a life lesson and we bring influencers, models, actresses, and people such as yourself on the journey with us. If you want to explore the world with a cause, with a purpose, follow us on Instagram, Global Child TV. Watch our show on Amazon Prime and leave us a review. And send us a DM so that way we can know that you want to come travel with us. Thanks for joining us on the journey.